Hello, I'm Willow Bradner, the accidental psychic. I figured I should probably tell you a little bit about me, and that is I never intended to be an intuitive. It wasn't something that I had necessarily chased down. It was an accident, really, truly. It was sort of this drunk party trick. It was dreams that came true. It was déjà vu moments. I had always these little hits and sparks of intuition, but they were never regular. They were never continuous or constant. I would just have these moments in time, these like small markers and indicators that would tell me that I was intuitive, but I kind of didn't know that this was a muscle that you could grow. Being an intuitive has always been an accident for me. It was never purposeful. It was never planned. I just sort of always knew certain things before they happened, and there was no rhyme, reason, or regularity to it. And I did not realize that I could bend and grow this ability. To me, it was something that only special people got. And I don't know really necessarily what defines a special person other than like James Van Praagh, Rebecca Rosen, John Edwards, just to name a few. Those were special people. And I always felt like God or universe or whatever you want to call it chose those special messengers. I kind of didn't realize any one of us could be a messenger, or even rather that I was a messenger. So it wasn't until my wedding night that I really got hit over the head that I was more than intuitive. That in fact I also had an ability to be a medium, which means in essence I'm also able to speak to those who have crossed over. And that was the great change for me, is when I realized that I was speaking to people on the other side who had passed. Starting with my late grandfather, who I had never met, came through on my wedding night. Yes, I was drunk as hell, but it was the only way that I think he was able to come in. I had to set my ego aside enough to allow for this opening, for the door to open, for them to talk through. Shortly after I had met my grandfather via this strange and unusual tool, my husband's mother came through, and she was so powerful. I felt her in my whole body and being. It was like she sat inside my body. It was like right out of the movie Ghost with Whoopi Goldberg, when the ghost like sits in her, when Patrick Swayze gets in her body and starts talking. That's how I felt. I don't know how it feels for necessarily everybody, but for me, that's how sometimes it feels when I'm talking to or talking with the other side. So I explored it. I told some friends about it. Their grandparents came out. I had one friend whose grandmother came through with one word: cucumber, cucumber, cucumber. And I realized that that was sort of a code for them. The mediumship, when it came out for me, took me for a tumble. Because of my name, Willow, I was really shy to kind of come out. I was shy to admit that I'd had this gift my whole life, and that I had this ability. One, I didn't think people would believe me, in large part because of my name. I think it's so the assumption that I'm supposed to be some guru, weirdo, turban wearing, down dog doing, hippy dippy, camp on a mountaintop kind of gal. Nothing wrong with any of those things, to be clear. But I had always kind of pushed against the cliche, always wanted people to see me for something beyond just my name and the cliche that goes with it. And so when suddenly people from the other side were talking through me, and I realized that I had been a channel for this and that I was able to do this, I kind of shut down, I'll be honest. I went right back into the psychic closet and I slammed the door shut, but I kind of had this feeling that I was going to have to come out and that it was going to happen. I knew I was on the precipice of change. I really didn't know what to do. So I kind of just waited and waited. And I shared with a few people that this was happening, but I was so shy and blown away by my own abilities and gift that I seriously just kind of tucked it away. And then I had my daughter. And when I had my daughter, I felt this anxiety wash over me. And I had this just feeling like I have to do something. There's more to this. I don't understand it and I don't get it and I don't know how I'm going to do it. But I just kept asking for help, and the more people I spoke to, the more help I was getting. And one day my friend handed me this book, Echoes of the Soul, by a woman named Echo Bodine. And she's been touted as one of the most intuitive people in the country to date. And she writes a story about her version of what's on the other side and what it looks like. But more and to the point, what I read was, you can grow this ability. There is a muscle that needs to be exercised. If you are intuitive now, you will be more intuitive later should you choose it. And if you have not had any intuition, you can still create an intuitive path for yourself. That this, in fact, is your birthright. This, in fact, is your superhero power that is God-given, truly. Now, I personally have never been comfortable with the God word. I grew up very not religious. My parents basically told us we were Buddhist, and I think they did it to tell other kids to back off if we were being ridiculed in school about not having religion. So for me, the word God came with connotations that I didn't understand based on my parental upbringing. If God to you is comfortable, use it by all means. To me, God gave us this superhero power, your intuition, our intuition, to use and to create freedom and to have faith that everything's going to work out. And more with intuition, I'm seeing it on a business level. I'm seeing it in an everyday life way. I'm seeing how my intuition serves me on a regular daily basis, to where it's not woo-woo, to where it's not scary, to where it's not cliche, to where your intuition can just be sort of like a jacket you put on in the morning so that you can get those basic hits. You know where the sale section is at Nordstrom, or you remember to take your money out of your wallet in case you get robbed that day, or you decide when you wake up that morning that you're going to go on Highway 6 instead of Highway 70 because you don't know why, but it turns out Highway 70 was blocked up and you would have been 2 hours late to work had you gone that way. Once I realized that your intuition can be used on a daily basis and that it's not woo-woo, I finally embraced it. And I finally decided that this was something that I could give back to the mass population, that you don't have to be special. You already are special. You don't have to have some special gift because you already are gifted. This is not an exclusivity club. Your intuition is ingrained in you. You have it. We all have these magnificent, amazing, magical stories of intuition where we knew something before it happened, where we had a dream and it came true, where we have had deja vu moments and we know that we were here before. We have all been gifted this right. And now it's just a matter of learning how to use it. So my goal and my hope in this website, in this space that I've created for us, is that you can come here and explore your intuition, that you can come here and learn about meditation, that you can come here and talk about the weird and the woo-woo in a way that feels comfortable to you. There's no ritual here, and there's no supposed to here. This is just an open forum where you can come and learn about your own intuitive abilities or medium abilities. I'll teach you what I'm learning as I'm learning it, and I'll share with you the stories that have really blown me out of the water, and hopefully we'll share together and make friendships along the way to where we can help each other and create subcultures beyond this. It's my belief that if we are to use our intuition more and we're more honest with ourselves about it, you'll see somebody for who they really are because you'll be able to feel them. The judgments will sort of start fading away and we won't feel so aggressive towards each other and about the world we live in. We won't have to be afraid about things not working out for us because we'll know that we have a whole team upstairs working for us. I want to introduce you to your intuition, to your team and help you get comfortable in this intuitive world, because you'll feel so free and you'll be so available to do other things in your life that you were so afraid of before, when you know that there's like this greater, bigger force working within for you. So I welcome you to join me on this amazing journey into your intuition, and leave your comments below. Let's do this thing.